Hey guys, how you doing today? Just on my way home from work. A little bit of construction going on behind me, you can hear. Oh yeah, gotta build. God bless the builders. Anytime anybody rolls by on this channel here and chews me out and says they're a construction guy, I try to be as respectful as possible to those guys because they're the ones building everything. It's hard work, it's difficult work, and they don't get enough respect for it. So they can say what they want to me, and I'll tell them what I think, but I don't hold anything against them. Anyway, what's really banging around my head today is, I think I'll title this one the corporate clampdown. That's really what we're starting to experience here, is the corporate clampdown. And corporations generally are starting to get... This was starting to happen before COVID, but now post-COVID, you can really see it. Like, companies are really starting to squeeze blood from the stone. They're really expecting more work out of people. They're expecting... their expectations are becoming unrealistic. I've worked for companies where this has happened, where expectations become unrealistic and counterintuitive. They actually begin to hurt the business because you begin to chase customers away with these policies. Because like everyone is currently competing with Amazon, right? And if you're a corporation, right, and if you're this detached ownership class that doesn't actually do any work, and doesn't actually go to the stores and doesn't actually understand what the job is and doesn't actually understand how people think about what's going on inside of these stores, or even how your shoppers really think, because you don't actually meet them, you don't know anything about them. They're just a spreadsheet to you. Even if you're looking at that spreadsheet, right? Maybe you've hired some bean counter somewhere to do a spreadsheet and to think about people this way. But they start to do these policies that alienate, right? They alienate the consumer base, and they begin to treat the consumer base as simply a consumer. They're not a person who's living a life, who's attempting to come into a place in order to enjoy themselves or alleviate, the pressure of their life. They're just a commodity to be pushed in and out, like any other commodity. And you can see this go into any corporate enterprise anywhere, right? And every corporation is littered with terrible policies that alienate the consumer base, so that the corporation can make a penny that day, right? If the corporation can make a penny that day, or at least not lose a penny that day, then they're fine losing $1 tomorrow, which is exactly how all of these guys think, right? Because what happens when you force your employee base to move forward on a terrible policy that is terrible, is that customers leave and they go to Amazon, right? Why wouldn't they? Why shouldn't they? I talk to people every day who come into my store who are trying to avoid Amazon. But it's like a siren song, right? Like it's like this allure, it's always there. Amazon. It's always there. And most people are in direct competition now with Amazon, because Amazon has become this enormous monopoly that's permitted to exist. But most corporations aren't actually thinking that way. And so they do these incredibly counterintuitive actions, which is baked into the capitalist system, right? Like, if you're the owner of a company, like if you're the owner of a store, I should say, right? And you exist in the neighborhood, you live in that neighborhood, right? You work in that neighborhood, you are in that neighborhood. The people who you serve, you know personally, right? You're going to bend over backwards to help those people because they're your lifeblood. They exist as a and doing someone a favor who lives in your community, right, is it's just a very smart thing to do. If you live there, if you're part of there, if you know these people, if you see them on the street, if you talk to them, right, you're desperate. You're desperate to build good relations with these people, no matter what. No matter what. But if you're a corporate owner, if you're just a shareholder, and that's just a portfolio, right? You don't know these people. You never will. You'll never meet any of them. And you don't care to know them. You don't care to meet them. You don't care anything about them. Then it's just line go up, right? That's all that matters. Line go up. And line can go up through many methods. You can slash labor, which is a terrible idea and a good way to destroy a business. You can stop buying products for a little while, which is, again, a terrible idea and a good way to ruin a business. You can begin to nickel and dime customers, which is a terrible idea and chases them over to Amazon. And this is my question for these big corporate guys, right, who are nickel and diming and starting to cause problems for their customers, right, is how do you plan to get them back from Amazon, right? Once you put them through this nonsense, and once you make their lives difficult, and once your consumer base comes to realize that you're not actually there to serve them, you're there just to squeeze pennies out of them, what's to stop them from going to Amazon? And what's your plan on getting them back from Amazon? And the reality is that these guys don't have that plan. They don't think that far ahead, you know? And you can see that going to Canadian Tire, right? Like, I remember very recently I went into a Canadian Tire and they have people roving the floor trying to get me signed up for all kinds of things. I get inquired 3-4 times when I go into a Canadian Tire now, right? Most stores are doing this now. They're just trying to get your information, trying to get you on a credit card, trying to get you on this, that, or the other thing, just trying to squeeze a little bit of more information, little tiny bit more out of you, right? And for the people who buy in, right, and there must be people that buy in or else they wouldn't do it, like, that's all well and good, but it has this alienating effect. And this is the alienating effect of capitalism, that capitalism ultimately alienates workers from managers, managers from owners, and customers from businesses. That's how it's structured to go until the whole thing eventually collapses, which we're headed for right now. And you can experience it. You can really experience it firsthand, right? You can experience it. You can see it happening, especially if you're a worker. Like, most workers, I think they just put their head down, they do their job, they do as they're told, right? And hope for the best. And because they know that if they speak up, they're going to get smacked down. They're not going to get listened to. First and foremost, they're not going to get listened to. They're going to get smacked down. It's going to make their lives difficult in the short and long term. And so why? Why do it? Why speak up? Why bother? It's a very rare company, and I feel I do work for a company that does still listen to its workers. I think I still do work for a company that is interested in hearing what's happening on the ground level of the stores, and who do take feedback seriously. But I've also worked for companies that don't, right? And I've talked to people all over the place where we don't want to hear from the workers. We don't care about them. We care about a data point from a customer, right? We care about how many pencils are the customers buying. You know, we don't care if the workers have an opinion about the attitude or how well promotion is going or the aspect of any of this kind of stuff. We're not interested in any of that. even though that's like the beating heart of your company, right? The people who are doing your work are the beating heart of your company. And they need to be listened to. I mean, I know for myself, like, I'm a communist, right? So I think the workers should own the means of production. They should own what's happening, right? They should own the shares of the company. The shares should be transferred from the ownership class to the working class, and the ownership class should cease to exist. Because I think it's odd and it's strange that we live in a society that venerates democracy, except for most of the time you're alive, right? Most of the time you live in a totalitarian dictatorship, which is the business you work in, right? And we just accept that. But we've got a democracy that we go vote in every 4 years for a guy who is pro-capitalism, which is the conservative and the liberals. So we pretend like we're in a democracy, but like voting for a person who is pro-totalitarian dictatorships, which is capitalism, is not really a democracy. And I think part of the reason why we're okay with maintaining this system is because we're extremely complacent and we're scared of what a democratizing workplaces would actually look like. We're scared of taking on that kind of responsibility. Right now there's just sort of a grand delusion that, like, if we just put our heads down and we let the people who are in charge run what they're doing, everything will be fine, and we'll just go along with our lives and everything will be fine. Oh man, yeah. Oh man, yeah, that really is what it is. Just put your head down. Don't rock the boat. Don't make any waves. Like, I'm organizing this protest September 1st, going to Doug Ford's house to protest. And the major thing that has been said to me is that it's disrespectful to do, or not useful to do. And it's just extraordinary complacency. And all it's really allowing is these corporations to clamp down, to squeeze blood from the stone, to expect more from their workers and pay less, to, like, if you want to get a job at anywhere now, like anywhere, if you want to get a job anywhere, you need to have such an impressive resume to even get in the door for an interview. You need to have so much experience. You need to have like 5 years of experience in the field now to even get in the front door, right? If you want to get hired on any tier, on any level, it requires like an incredible amount of either luck, right? You just know the right person at the right time and they can get you in the door, and that'll get you like 8 hours a week, right? At like the lowest possible pay. Or you need to have like 3 to 5 years experience, and that'll get you like 20 hours a week at slightly above minimum. And anything above that, like, you need to have like at least 5 years of experience in like strong management. in order to even get a phone call. If you want anything above, just like a key holder. The system can't sustain itself, right? It's going to continuously discard more and more qualified people because, COVID has shut down many businesses on a permanent basis. Like, I walk down my street and there are businesses that I enjoyed, that I liked, that are never coming back. They're gone. And one of our major competitors here in Toronto, Toys, they went under. They're not coming back. And so there's less businesses to go for workers to go to. So there's less of that happening. And places like Amazon are just raking it in, right? Because they treat their workers very poorly. They pay them very, very small amount. They expect an incredible amount of work from them, and people are desperate. And this is key. This is crucial to the neoliberal experiment, right? This is crucial. It's crucial that people are desperate. You can go watch Alan Greenspan talk about that on YouTube. You can just Google it. He stood right in front of Congress and said that it's important to keep workers desperate because they'll accept terrible wages and worse benefits. And they'll just accept that because they have no alternative. And it won't be too much longer now until there's just nowhere for people to turn to, right? That the government is basically washing their hands of helping people, right? When it could very easily, it could create a program. It could extend the CERB program easily into a basic income. It could say to the private sector, well, you guys aren't taking care of the populace, so we're going to. It could create a jobs program. It could create all kinds of systems to actually help people. In Finland, they just eliminated homelessness by giving people homes. And they just found out that it's cheaper to do than to keep them homeless. It's cheaper to just give a person a home. In Barcelona now, the city of Barcelona has actively said to billionaires sitting on properties, find people to rent these properties in a month or we're taking your properties away. Which is exactly what we should be saying here in Toronto. It's precisely the kind of thing we should be saying here in Toronto. The idea that we're just letting people sit on empty properties while there are people sleeping in the streets is disgusting. It's despicable. And yet we do it. And we're fine with it. Right? And we're fine with electing these leaders who pretend as though the world is great and that the private sector is going to solve all the problems. We just need to let the market decide. It's just childish. It's just become childish. And what's so childish about it is that the government could literally solve this problem in a day. Just a day. It could just literally say, oh, homelessness? No, that's dumb. That's over. It could say that. No trouble. The reality is that the liberals and the conservatives don't want that. They want people to be desperate. They want people to be homeless. That's part of their agenda. That's part of what they do. That's the point. They want to keep people in a state of precariousness and desperation. That's the goal. And you can just witness it firsthand. Walk into literally any establishment, right? Any establishment. The people who are there are well-groomed. And they do excellent work because they understand what the stakes have become. And the stakes are people's survival at this point. It's frustrating because we could do so much better. We could do so much better. It'd be easy to do. It'd be easy. But we just have this sort of constipation. We have a mental and spiritual constipation when it comes to actually allowing people to live a decent life. We have this very odd idea that people have to earn it. An idea, of course, that's very convenient if you're an owner who didn't earn anything, like literally nothing. Billionaire inheritors love to tell people to earn, like, shut up. It's so duplicitous, and it's so sneaky, and it's so stupid, because we could just do without it. And we could just live in a society where people's basic needs were taken care of, where food and shelter were accommodated by. That would actually be very simple to do. It'd be easy to do. We could do it in a day. We just need to actually do it. But we're not interested in that. And that's really what I'm coming to realize, is we're not really interested in helping anybody. Yeah, we'll see what it gets us. All right. Good luck out there, guys. I hope your time is going well. I really do. I know that we have these moments of misery together, but I do hope that things are going well for you, and I hope you're getting out on the street, you're protesting. I hope you're getting yourself heard. I hope you're not taking shit from anybody. I hope you're... Wow. Speaking of getting heard and not taking shit from anybody. I hope you're finding love, and I hope you're being loved. And I just hope that you're finding those shreds of time for yourself. Truly for yourself. All right. Good luck out there, guys.